Tank don't really care, So when I brought this up, he said, "Dang, facts." You know what I'm saying? So again, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight.
People like Jake Paul's fights, that they don't. To me, he's like been the king of sandbagging. This is a pound artist, a guy who's at least ostensibly pound for pound, but the weight difference is so extraordinary, it's insane.
Calvin Ford, Gervonta Davis's longtime trainer, is leaving no doubt about their intentions.
One thing I can say about Jake, he's good at what he do, and he's been doing. That's why he's where he's at. And everybody keeps saying, to be honest, this is a risky fight. You know what I'm saying? Anything can happen because I don't know all the logistics besides gloves, what weight class. There's a lot of stuff I don't know about yet. But my main thing is to keep him safe.
They've been going back and forth for years, Tank and Jake. They've been going at it for years, and it would have happened sooner. You know what I'm saying? But we have hiccups in life. That's what I call it, hiccups, but they lessons to learn from. But we back on track and we're keeping it moving.
At a press conference designed to sell a fight, the real battle wasn't between the two men on stage, but in the details hidden from the casual eye. While everyone focused on the massive size difference between the pound-for-pound king and the YouTube sensation, Calvin Ford saw a different kind of danger. He saw an advantage being quietly slipped into the rules, an advantage he was determined to expose in front of the entire world.
Go ahead, Cal.
Jake, I see you guys doing all this betting stuff, right? And I'm looking at this fight, I'm cool. This is a very serious fight, and I'm a very serious person. My question to you is, where did you all about gloves come from? Why did I couldn't take 10 and he had 8? Or maybe giving up 4 ounces of the gloves? I can't see it. Y'all bet on this money. You understand?
The entire camp has made it personal, and Ford is ready to expose every advantage Jake thinks he has.
This feels a little different to me because it doesn't feel like the sideshow anymore. It feels like this is the show. Gervonta Davis cherry-picked the Lamont Roach fight. He wasn't even supposed to have that fight, and he picked it, and then it blew up in his face a little bit because he should have lost it. It was a draw. And then he gets arrested and has all these issues, and and then decides to come back and fight Jake Paul. It's like, that tells me that PBC is probably hurting for cash, and I don't know if Tank's hurting for cash, but it's like obviously cashing in, because the reality is that Jake Paul is an infinitely bigger star than Lamont Roach is, and that's just a reality. But like, now we're taking guys that some people have on pound for pound lists, or at least did, and they're interrupting their normal schedule of fights in order to compete against Jake. That's not what happened with Woodley. That's not what happened with Anderson. And that's not even Logan Paul and Mayweather was like the definition of sideshow. Like, Floyd had been way done for years. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it felt like a frivolous extra. It didn't feel like, to me anyway at the time.
The atmosphere was already thick with tension, but it was Calvin Ford who lit the fuse. As Jake Paul spoke, Ford's patience snapped. He wasn't just a trainer at that moment, he was a protector who felt his fighter was being played. He shot up, his voice cutting through the noise, and aimed his words directly at Jake. He called him a clown, a performer hiding behind rules meant to soften the blow. Ford's main point of attack was the gloves. He questioned why Jake, a man who supposedly believed so much in his own power, would insist on fighting with 12-ounce gloves, what many in the boxing world consider training pillows.
My only concern is, the gloves. You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't fight in 12-ounce gloves. We don't use 12-ounce gloves. That's training gloves, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's 2 pounds away from Jake. He fights in 10s. Tank fighting 8s, so he losing 4 ounces. So my thing is, I said, they said, put Tank in 8s, put him in 10s. That makes the fight more interesting. You know what I'm saying? And we'll go from there, because I understand. And I brought that question up to one of his handlers. They was, no, we don't want to do no mixed match. It's supposed to be an expedition. What, now y'all want the wins and the loss. You know what I'm saying? All these prescriptions, but you want to be great. Being great is really pushing the envelope. You know what I'm saying? Tank don't really care, So when I brought this up, he said, "Dang, facts." You know what I'm saying? So again, he can weigh the 10s and we weigh the 8s. Then we got to fight.
But the drama didn't end there. In a shocking twist, Jake fired back, claiming it was Tank's team, not his, that wanted the heavier gloves.
Yeah, well, you guys were the ones that wanted 12-ounce gloves, not me. I'll do 8. I'll do 4. I'll do 2 ounces. I'll do very up to like.
I'm not aware of that. Because I know that he can handle himself.
So what do you want? 10 ounces? 8 ounces?
If anyone said that, I'm going to go with that. I wasn't aware of that.
No, the 12 ounce came from your guys' side. No, and on God, perfect. Then what do you want? 10? I didn't say that. So 10 ounces? Perfect. It doesn't matter. So back to what I always wanted, which was 10 ounces. Great.
You just say something. You fight at 10, he fight at 8.
Yeah, your guys' side.
So I'm like,
no, the email is a screenshot.
I get it. It's part of negotiation. I get it.
No, let's do it. 10 ounces, 8. Let's do it. That's great. That's going to make it more exciting for the fans. Thank God. I wanted 10 really bad. Let's do it.
Ford seemed genuinely stunned by the accusation, leaving a cloud of confusion hanging in the air. Was there a miscommunication, or was someone on Tank's own team making decisions without his trainer's knowledge? The fiery exchange turned the press conference on its head, leaving the audience buzzing with questions.
Gervonta doesn't want this fight.
You want that rematch next? It's definitely the one I want next.
It's the fight I want next, but it's not the fight that's going to be next. Tank said they ain't going to give it to you. PBC had a contract for Tank Roach. Tank didn't sign it. Roach knew all along fight ain't gonna happen. He was only contractually obligated to have the rematch if Roach win. Roach won that fight. Robbed him of the knockdown. It's a draw. Now they're not contractually obligated. So why didn't Tank sign the contract?
Gervonta Davis, and you're being offered 20, 30, 40 million, whatever the number is, and you're getting 7 or 8 to fight Lamont Roach.
Do you remember once upon a time Gervonta Tank Davis had a contract on the table for like 200 million, 300 million, something crazy like that? 6-fight deal, what happened to it? The PBC split with Showtime, now with Amazon. Gervonta doesn't want to fight Jake. What else is he going to do? Let me tell you the biggest issue. He had nowhere to go.
Ford's outburst wasn't just random anger, it was a calculated move to expose a hidden advantage. To the average viewer, a few ounces might not seem like much, but in boxing, it's the difference between a punch that stings and a punch that ends a career.
The Jake Paul versus Tank fight is getting really weird. Gervonta looks scared for his life because the rules are out. They're crazy. Oh, so everyone thought that the fight was at 190. Instead it's at 195, and this weight difference is scaring the life out of little Tank.
Over 10 3-minute rounds.
I said it was 190. The next dispute comes with the gloves. Little Tank is used to fighting in 8-ounce gloves. Baby glove. This fight will be in 12. Hands might be too small. Oh, so Tank just fought in a 12 3-minute round fight against Roach. Yes, and now he's fighting in 10 3-minute rounds, which isn't too bad. Well done, Jake. Exhibition though, can he win? Yes, he can actually win. It will be overlooked by 3 sanctioned judges. So you can actually still win and knock him out. But here's the trick. It's body punches only. And there's a reason. That's because Tank said, look, this is a bit unfair. I don't want to punch up. I want to punch at my head height. Where does it fall? At Jake Paul's belly. Oof. So apparently we've heard there's no knockdown rules, but aside from that, it's pretty well-rounded fight. Oh yeah, and there's some drug testing involved. But Jake Paul for the win.
Gervonta Davis, a lightweight champion, typically fights with 8-ounce gloves, which are little more than a thin layer of padding over a fighter's knuckles. Jake Paul, fighting at cruiserweight, uses 10-ounce gloves. The mandated 12-ounce gloves for this fight were, in Ford's eyes, a shield for Jake. They were designed to absorb impact, to neutralize the one thing that makes Tank Davis so terrifying, his concussive, one-shot knockout power. Ford's argument revealed a stunning truth. The fight's rules seemed engineered to protect the bigger man from the smaller, more skilled fighter.
Hey, he's talking shit. Okay, I like that. Do that again. Get out that corner though, young man.
Tank kind of has done the same thing, or at least his people have done the same thing with him. Tank Davis has been called a champion. He's never been the champion of any division. He's never beaten the man in any division. He's had some good wins. In retrospect, the Pitbull win was a nice win. It was a close fight. It was a nice win. Ryan Garcia, that's a big win, right? Like, that's good for him. It was a
Dehydrated
big win.
Ryan, but good win.
Yeah, right.
He was demanding a level playing field, and his proposal was simple. Let Tank wear his 8-ounce weapons, and Jake can wear his 10s. That, he declared, would be a real fight. And while the gloves were his main concern, the size difference wasn't. This is what makes Calvin Ford's confidence so compelling.
Tank, everybody he fight, he make famous. Roach was a nobody before he fought. Nobody. World champion. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like this. If any of them top guys that they talk about would have had an offer that been offered to Tank, they'd have jumped on it too. That's happening. You know what I'm saying? My suggestion is, you put me in a light where everybody know me now. You know what I'm saying? Let me keep it moving. I come back to Tank later. You know what I'm saying? I understand that's the biggest payday of his life. You know what I'm saying? But it's more out there. You know that. You know what I'm saying? You look at Pitbull, he running with it. Brody, still on top. Barrio, still on top. You know what I'm saying? Martin about to fight soon, so it's about to see where he's at. I just look at it like, oh, forget about that. Tank, go in and do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, it's about taking care of you and your family. You know what I'm saying?
When asked if he was worried about Tank facing a much larger opponent, Ford was dismissive.
They got him at 190, 195. I thought it was going to be 190. So they gave him 5. So again, they keep giving, you know. I ain't worrying about the weight. You know what I'm saying? We got to deal with it. We taking the fight. We signed the contract. We're going to make it do what it do.
He knows Tank has difference of a staggering 60 pounds to a catch weight of 195. And it's still unclear if a rehydration clause will be in effect to stop Jake from gaining even more weight before the first bell. But Ford has seen Tank deal with big guys his whole life. He has watched Gervonta Davis fight since he was a boy, and he knows that physical intimidation means nothing against pure skill.
Gervonta, he went life and death with Lamont Roach in his last fight. A lot of people thought that Lamont Roach was going to get knocked out as soon as he got touched, right? Lamont Roach was telling people before the fight, I know him. Like, we came up together. I know him. This isn't going to be what you think it's going to be. And Lamont Roach did his thing. It's controversy about the knee that Gervonta Davis took where the referee did not call. He started to count, but he did not count that. That could have been and should have been the difference in that fight, because he did take a voluntary knee. There was a lot of talk about the rematch. What was reported initially was rematch first, because Gervonta has to get some get back in a sense and restore his reputation, even his fans. Hey, bruh, we got to do better on this next one. And I heard that the exhibition with Jake Paul was going to be in November.
Interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition, because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable, although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out, because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe
no
that,
doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, no, well, we're going to take care of Jake, just want to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out. You understand me? But if they do it for real, Tank is highly capable of taking Jake Paul out.
Ford used a powerful analogy to describe the matchup, calling it Jake Paul's first true open fight.
Actually, when I heard about the fight, they called me and said, what you thought about the fight? I said, the fight doable. You know what I'm saying? Because I watched Tanky for years, and I watched other young men in gyms, you know, deal with big guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's big. To me, it's like Jake having his first open fights. If anybody know about the amateurs going open, then you go pro. So, you know, he's a great fighter guy that does have skills. You know what I'm saying?
In amateur boxing, an open fight is when a fighter steps up to the highest level of competition, leaving behind the protected world of carefully chosen opponents.
Jake Paul was a famous YouTuber when he started boxing as a 19-year-old. So as a boxer, he was undeveloped. But his first fight came in front of an audience of millions. He was a business from the very beginning. And with the right opponent, someone the public is aware of, he makes big events. Huge. But by the time professional boxers are well enough known to be that opponent, they're far too good for him. Unless they're way past their prime, or way too small, or otherwise provide Jake with some enormous handicap.
You know, it's an entertaining fight. To be honest, Jake Paul has a lot of followings, a lot of guys that are going to come and watch, and that gives the opportunity for other fighters to be seen on those cards. You know, so A lot of people don't agree, but at the end of the day, for me, it's entertainment. And if we can take boxing to the next level and give other fighters opportunities to be displayed and for other people, YouTubers and all that, to be seen, and hopefully all the YouTubers and people that are just there, not just for boxing, can continue watching.
To Ford, Jake has been boxing in a bubble, facing retired athletes and MMA fighters. Stepping into the ring with a prime, pound-for-pound champion like Tank Davis is his entry into the real, unforgiving world of elite boxing. For Ford, this isn't a gamble. It's a foregone conclusion built on a lifetime of watching skill dismantle size.
A lot of fighters have stepped up to fight Jake Paul, and a lot of fighters claimed that they were going to be the fighter to stop him. What makes you think that you can be the fighter to stop him? And if you can stop him, do you think you can stop him?
Yeah, for sure. I think I can stop him. I'm much quicker than him. He's much stronger, much bigger, but we just gotta wait and see it till we get in there and test the waters. But I'm for sure though that he decent and he gonna hold up for a couple rounds. But once it get hot in there, you know how things play out.
But as Ford fought his fighters' battles at the podium, a troubling question began to surface among analysts watching from the sidelines. Was Gervonta Davis himself taking this fight seriously?
I don't know. It just seems to me like people go to Jake Paul when they're looking for a big payday. You know, that's a payday that Woodley could not get in UFC, certainly at that time at which he got it. Like, he couldn't get that. And same for Anderson. Same for Nate Diaz. I didn't cover that fight, but it's the same thing for Nate Diaz. And you could pick a bunch of other ones too. The reality is, like, now I think boxing itself in the United States anyway is going hat in hand and asking him for a payday. And I just think that kind of tells you the state of the sport in the country right now.
Luke Thomas, a respected analyst, pointed out something unusual in Tank's demeanor. Throughout the press conferences and interviews, Tank appeared completely disinterested. His body language suggested indifference, as if this fight was more of a business obligation than a genuine challenge that excited him.
So in that sense, it's a little bit different. It's not different in the sense of a boxer in his prime or relative prime straying off the path, but this one is not. It's not like someone else, in a similar weight. It's like completely the opposite, and so that makes it, I think, look and feel weird. And then on top of it, obviously, Gervonta's got other business to handle. He looked to me, Gervonta, absolutely, completely disinterested. Even at the beginning of this year, and even at the pre-fight Lamont Roach stuff, Tank was talking about how much time he has left in boxing, and he was wasn't much. The Lamont Roach fight, it blew up in his face, but Lamont Roach was cherry-picked. I think Tank thought, I'll just fight another guy from, the mid-Atlantic area who's, remember Roach came up from 30 to 35 to fight him, and Tank thought he was just going to cruise, and then it blew up in his face, and, you're left with that. So, you're making a point about, he's got this obligation. That's true, but he was already fucking around. He was already taking opponents that, again, I think Roach showed everyone that was a mistake, but put yourself in Tank's mind. Tank was taking a fight against someone he was clearly, in his mind anyway, better than, and was just going to cruise. So he was already in that state. Then you marry that with statements like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, and blah, blah, blah. And, I'm worried about going to therapy because it'll take away my competitive edge. And, kind of teetering on the edge a little bit about whether or not this is a thing he wants to do. Then he, there's a draw in that fight. And then he takes this Jake Paul fight, which I'm sure is going to be for dumb money. I get it.
How is training for something like this? Obviously, smaller guy. How is this in the training aspect, Jake?
Yeah, there's a lot of punching down, practicing, hitting below my knees, and a lot of speed. We're sparring.
That's what we need.
We're sparring.
Warm up.
Some 8-year-olds. I got the 8-year-olds in there.
If I find out anything, I'm going to beat your ass, and I'm going to beat Jaden Love ass. On my mama, I'm going to beat both of y'all ass. On my mama. And he laughing. He laughing.
What are you talking about?
What
does he have to do with this?
Let anything, you know what I'm talking about. Let anything. Nah, I don't have to say it right now. Don't worry about it. I don't gotta say it up here. Let anything happen, and I'm gonna show you and him. Bet.
This isn't just speculation, it's a pattern. Fans saw it in his shocking performance against Lamont Roach, a fighter Tank was expected to dominate. He went into that fight believing he could just cruise to an easy victory, but instead, his lack of focus nearly cost him everything, and he was fortunate to escape with a majority draw.
I'm supposed to get over it, get past it. We had a rematch clause, right? We had a rematch clause. If I'm declared the winner or if the bout was declared a draw, he has the right to exercise an immediate rematch. Guess what he did 2 weeks later after the fight? Exercised his right to the rematch. And we went and go handle our business with my team, lawyers, his team, promotional company, lawyers, contract, boom, sign, boom. That was for June. This contract was signed both ends in June. So there's an official rematch.
It was a clear warning. An unfocused Tank is a vulnerable Tank. The issue might run even deeper. Davis has openly spoken about not having much time left in boxing and has even expressed fear that going to therapy could take away his competitive edge. This paints a picture of a champion who may be battling burnout or questioning his own future, making him dangerously susceptible to underestimating an opponent.
That's another thing about fighters. They wanted to box, or their father made them box. I had to box. I had to get myself out of my situation. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was coming to, I didn't say I'm gonna be this
champion.
Yeah, undisputed champion. Nigga, I was saying I need to get money. I need to get out of my situation. That's another thing why I say, like, once I get to, while I'm at this level, like, it's no point, like, it's no more point to prove to myself. Cause I already, you feel me? I did what I came to.
However, for most seasoned boxing experts, Tank's demeanor means nothing compared to the colossal gap in skill. They remain convinced that Jake Paul is heading for a brutal awakening. They believe Tank isn't just looking for a win, he's looking to inflict a specific kind of damage.
Your innocence and say that it ain't fixed. Because check this out. Tank ain't gonna lose this fight. Hell no. Hell no. Tank ain't losing this fight. Too many holes. Man, Jake don't have enough experience. Yeah, man, this gonna be taking candy from a baby. You know, Jake is missing the rules. See, this is what happens when you don't grow up in the game. When you don't grow up in the game, man, at a young age, this is what happens. You know, you start reading your own press clippings. That's what Jake is doing. You know, fighting this lower level competition, and now he think he the ish. Now he think he the man. He ain't the man. You kidding me? He is not the man. Oh no, yeah, false sense of security. Now he trying to pick on small folks, right? You know, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, I'm just saying size-wise. Yeah, that's another thing, boxing one-on-one. You don't, hey.
These analysts emphasize that the ring intelligence, timing, and precision Tank has developed over years of fighting elite competition is something Jake has never encountered. They describe Tank's accuracy as deadly, where a single clean shot can fundamentally alter the fight. But to add a layer of suspense, former UFC champion Michael Bisping offered a crucial counterpoint. While praising Tank's phenomenal talent, he issued a stark reminder: size matters. Bisping explained that while skill is key, Jake's naturally larger frame could allow him to absorb shots and test Tank's endurance in ways no smaller fighter ever could.
Right in that damn dog. It ain't the size of the damn dog, and I told y'all that, man. Yeah, it's the same thing here. And it's about the smartest dog. Tank too smart for him. Tank got too much boxing IQ for Jake, man. This gonna be easy. Easy. Like I said, man, Tank, please, man. Don't do this to boxing, bro. If there's anything, man, shoot. Man, we can put together some kind of like account for you, a GoFundMe account or whatever, bro. And we can, hey, all your fans can give you $1, bro. So that way you don't be shoot blowing this fight. It's easy, bro. This sparring section. You know, look, I'm so confused. I don't know what the hell to call this. A circus? Just call it a circus. Yeah, just call it a damn circus. Because, you know, one minute they said, oh, this is the fight.
But that skill is precisely why this fight has become so controversial. The stakes have been raised to an unbelievable level. One passionate commentator declared, "If Tank don't put this man to sleep, he done let the black community down, he done let boxing down, and he ain't never been that nice." The weight of expectation is crushing. He's not just fighting for himself, but for his reputation and the very integrity of the sport. Many in the boxing world are frustrated, arguing that he is choosing a massive payday over a legacy-defining career. The criticism isn't just coming from analysts, it's coming directly from his rivals. Shakur Stevenson didn't hold back, calling Tank out on social media. "That's how I know you're soft," Shakur wrote. "You'd rather pop to me on social media than get in that fire and get embarrassed. This dude's a made-up character." These raw, personal attacks highlight the frustration of elite fighters who feel Tank is dodging them for a spectacle.
Taking that opportunity, because this is prize fighting, right? It's about making money and securing your family. Can you fault him for that?
It's two sides of that. Like,
Okay.
it just depends. Like, as a fighter, just because I had a draw with somebody, for me, I may run it back. But in a business aspect, if you run it back and you lose to Lamont, and then the Jake Paul fight is presented, you may not make as much money, or the fight may not be as lucrative as it was before you lost. So as a business, I understand. I ain't gonna hate on the decision, but as a man
Your
and
pride
as
will
a
get in the way.
fighter with my integrity.
Yeah, but isn't there a price for everything, Shakur? Like, even if you had a draw with somebody and you were offered 10 times more than you ever, I don't know what the number is, but it's a lot more than he's ever made. You think you might consider doing the same thing, right?
I would, but you gotta also realize, I know that it's not going nowhere. Like, the
Right.
fight ain't gonna go nowhere. Like, say, because if I really believe in myself,
Right.
and I wholeheartedly think, like, if we fight again, I'm gonna win this fight.
That fight still be there around the
After
corner.
I
yeah.
beat this motherfucker, where you at?
Yeah.
The fight's still there. It's not gonna go nowhere. But if I have a 50-50 thought process to
doubt.
where it's like,
Right.
yeah, I got doubt in my brain, I may be like, all right, fuck it.
Right.
In his case, it might be that he's tired of fighting anyway. He's leaning towards retiring
Yeah,
anyway.
let's cash out.
So he's just gonna get that money.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, I guess.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul adds to the chaos with his own contradictory statements, claiming Tank is taking a bigger risk than Floyd Mayweather ever did, while in the same breath admitting his own punches can be sloppy and that he leaves a tremendous amount of openings.
That's why I respect Tank. That's why this is amazing. He's a showman. He's a G. He's got his aura, his swag, his fans. I really respect him for taking this fight. Look at what, Floyd Mayweather did and fought Conor McGregor, who was like the same weight. This is the most risky fight that Gervonta can take in boxing. He actually has the balls and he's putting that on the line. And it's a much tougher fight than Floyd had against Conor in a crossover fight like that. So respect to him. It's going to be a show, and we can talk our shit at the end of the day, but people are going to tune in and we're both going to show out and someone's getting put to sleep. It's really tripping. It's like you really going off of something, huh? You see how you just threw that out there for me, so you said, y'all might not catch it, but next, right, okay. What'd you say? We only say
But not everyone sees it this way. Trainer Greg Hackett fired back at the critics, defending Tank's right to make his own choices. He argued that keyboard warriors don't understand the pressures fighters face and that Tank has earned the right to secure his future.
And number 3, the retirement.
I mean, the backlash is just what people do nowadays. That's just, you give somebody a keyboard, you give them a phone, and they able to hide their face. Yeah, they gonna have a field day. The backlash I get, I understand. What'd you say, number 2, not fighting Shakur?
Yeah, he's saying he'll never fight Shakur, that he ain't gonna do him no favors, that he ain't gonna help him make no money because Shakur broke or something like that. Something along those lines.
Yeah, I don't get all that. That's, you know what I mean, that's against the game. Like, you know what I mean, you at least owe that fight for the game. You know what I mean, you owe the rematch to Lamont for the game, but you owe Shakur for the game just because of the 2 style matchups. You know what I mean? But if he feel like he don't gotta fight him, guess what? We can't sit here and just go crazy about it. But it is kind of crazy. It is kind of corny. You know what I'm saying? If he not gonna fight Shakur, and if he's standing on it like, I'm not ever gonna fight you, I'm not doing you no favors. And all right. But then again, you know what? I don't know what them guys got going on. I don't know what they've been through personally. You know what I'm saying? But would I love to see that fight? Hell yeah, I would love to see that fight. And then number 3, you said what? You said
retirement.
The retirement. Oh, Boxing, they're around. They're around. It's always gloves around. It's on you. It's on you. I'm chilling. You all right? Yeah, get with me. I know. How you feel? Dark skin boy. That's my man. The retirement is like he done a lot in his career, right? Not everything, but he done a lot. What people don't understand is his business is a lot. This whole experience is a lot. The shit these fighters go through is hard to explain. It's hard to explain because people, they can't see it, so they can't understand it. But it's stressful to the fighters because they coming from just getting ready to fight in the amateurs, being prepared, going out there, win, get it done, celebrate, all right, we back to the next camp. To now, marketing. You're talking about marketing. You're talking about lawyers. You're talking about all this shit that you just never imagined. You're like, why do I have to deal with all of this shit? People trying to keep money.
Hackett's message was a reminder that boxing is a brutal business and a fighter's career is short. And perhaps that's what makes Calvin Ford's ringside presence so crucial. His relationship with Gervonta Davis goes far beyond that of a trainer and a fighter. He is a father figure. He has been with Tank since he was a child, learning to box in the gritty gyms of Baltimore, guiding him through a life filled with challenges both inside and outside the ring. When Ford speaks about Tank, he speaks about his son. This emotional bond is what fuels his protective instincts. His outburst at the press conference wasn't just a strategic move. It was the raw emotion of a father seeing his son enter a chaotic, unpredictable event. He worries not about Tank's ability, but about the circus surrounding Jake Paul and its potential to distract his fighter. Ford's mission is to keep Tank grounded, to remind him of his roots and the purpose that brought him to the pinnacle of the sport. Ultimately, this matchup has become far more than just a fight. As boxing legend Tim Bradley put it, this isn't just a fight, it's a reflection of a major shift in the sport. It's a clash of eras, where Gervonta Davis represents traditional excellence built through years of sacrifice, and Jake Paul represents the new age of celebrity-driven boxing. Their collision is a battle for the soul of modern boxing. It's a complex story woven with threads of strategy, doubt, legacy, and loyalty. It's about a trainer's fight for fairness, a champion's questionable focus, and a sport grappling with its own identity. When the bell rings, will it be Jake Paul's size or Gervonta Davis's focus that determines who truly gets punished? So, that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned, and we will catch you in the next video.